Hello everybody, Chaz and Omaha here. Previously, we had two methods of upgrading gear and spells. You could merge existing gear into the same item to upgrade it with however many points that item had, or you could use motes that you got from mobs that you were killing, named, and raid bosses, and those would upgrade them according to however many points the mote was worth. We now have a new endgame currency that was introduced or announced right at the end of beta and introduced with live launch. What are they? Well, they're called Void Touch Potential. I'm going to call them Giga-Motes. Previously, a plus 10 item or spell was pretty unrealistic unless it was a mass-produced item such as like an arrow from fletching. But with these, you can realistically get a plus 10 and several of them. What these do is they upgrade an item exactly one tier, no matter what tier they happen to be on at the time, and they do not stack for some reason. But you can only carry 3, so I guess it kind of doesn't matter that much. How do we get these Giga-Motes? Well, you get 1 per unique raid boss kill per week. Meaning, if you do D0 Yale, you will get 1. If you then do D1 Yale, you will not, because it is not a unique boss kill. If you then do D0 Nagafen, however, you will get a second one. When you speak with the Voidling to open up your raid instance, if you are eligible to still get one of these 3 Giga-Motes, a task will pop up to kill the raid boss. As soon as you kill the raid boss in that instance, the Giga-Mote will pop into your inventory. So how many of these are we going to get total? Well, we get 3 per week, and you have to spend them before you can get your 4th. That means you get 12 every month, and if we assume 6 months until Kunark releases, that would be 72 total. If we then also assume that you use these to upgrade an item from 6 to 10 each time, that means you will get a total of 18 spells/items before Kunark. This is a lot if you are only playing one trio. But if you are, like I suspect most people are, wanting to play a lot of things, it's not very many, and you're probably going to want to plan accordingly in advance so you don't waste them on things that will make you sad later. So what are we looking to spend our Giga-Motes on? Well, I feel like there are basically 3 broad categories that you should look at when deciding where to spend your weekly Giga-Motes. The first category would be big weapons, things like Aldrin, Wu's Fist of Mastery, Cudgel of the Fool, Fangol, and Windstriker if you want to play with bows. The second category would be big spells. Shaman's Odium and E-Bolt come to mind, along with the Puma buff. Necro life taps are quite important if you're playing those. Top tier wizard nukes would be very powerful if you like playing wizard. And then things like Mage Beast and Necro Pets might be pretty important if you're playing that way. The third category is big armor. I think that for armor, you probably want to focus on things that are universally incredible, such as Engineer Ring from Inaruk, shields or other things that go in your any slot really well, maybe some Sky Haste Belts if you play certain combos that have the same Haste Belt over and over again. If you happen to be playing a warrior, Indicolite items are a lot more powerful than most armor items, especially the chest piece. And then a special shout out to the crazy new necklace that you can get on the Kara Island. I think this is going to be one of the first things that I'm going to get to plus 10. So the next question becomes, at what level should we start using our motes? I think this depends on a few things. Their playstyle, how much time you can commit to the game, and how many combos you actually want to play. To me, starting at plus 6 seems pretty reasonable. You get good mileage out of the motes you get from leveling and doing raid bosses every week, while not making it take forever in order to get some of your best items to plus 10. If you have limited playtime or there are only a few combos that you want to play, maybe you could even start lower than plus 6. If you have infinite playtime or you want to play all the combos in the game, then maybe you might want to wait until like plus 7 or plus 8, otherwise you just won't have enough for how many items you want to upgrade. So thinking ahead to the future with this system, my first question was, can we hoard them? Would we be able to just keep all of them and then wait until Kunark and make Ultra Giga items come Kunark? Well, I'm pretty sure we can only hold 3 at a time because of the pop-up that comes up when you start trying to do a raid after you've gotten all 3. The other question then becomes, though, if we were to save only the last 3 that we got, would they work on Kunark on the first week? I think that it probably will, but unfortunately it probably would be pretty hard to get a worthwhile item and your first week Giga-Motes in Kunark if you were to try and hold them. So what are my initial plans for spending, given the classes I want to play? First of all, The weapon, I'm going to upgrade my Aldrin as soon as I get it from Plane of Sky. I think it's going to be the first thing I get to level 10 because I'm planning on using Paladin as my primary to level a lot of classes. Then I might upgrade Wu's Fist later if I continue to play the Paladin Monk combo for quite a long time. As far as armor goes, I think that the Kejar Karath neck that comes from the Kara Island is probably a prime target because it would make early leveling absolutely incredible because you'd have infinite mana and endurance. I think the Engineer's Ring is a prime target for me because it's probably going to be used on every single combo in the whole game. I think that the Paladin Haste Belt from Sky is probably also another prime target, basically for the same reason that I'm going to upgrade Aldrin. And then I'm also looking at playing a Warrior, Necro or Enchanter plus Shaman combo to try and see how good dots do. I think the Indicolite chest for Warrior is a prime target for this one, along with Fangle or Dogos, depending on if I feel like weapon damage is relevant with all the dot damage. Odium Evil for the Shaman, because they're very, very high DPS dots. And then maybe Drain Soul for the Necro if I end up playing the Warrior Necro Shaman combo instead of the Enchanter with a Shaman. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on the new Giga-Motes system in EQLegends. What are you planning to do with your Giga-Motes? Or were you not aware of this entirely and now you have to start thinking about it? Please leave it down in the comments below and maybe we can all get a discussion going and some people might come up with some better plans than I have. See you next time.